Hey guys, Sponge Murphy here. So I was a bit debating on doing a painting tutorial on how I painted some of my Skaven zombies, because you know they came out pretty good, but I don't think they were good enough to kind of show people how I did it. But I asked around, a few guys said yeah, that I could see how I painted them. So I went ahead and I recorded one. I'll have another painting tutorial on my channel, but it was kind of like a quick speed thing. So like, it is pretty hard to record these, so there's a few mistakes, like I am out of frame a little bit, so I apologise for that in advance. Like some parts get a little blurry and all, you know, it's kind of like a trial and error thing where I'm going to have to do a few of these to really pick it up how to do them properly. As you can see, I didn't base them. I don't base any of my guys till the very end, till I have all of them done kind of. So yeah, this guy, he's not painted to the best I can do, but you know, he's not too bad. He's okay. My white background is falling down. Because it's really hard to paint on the camera. You know, the clips I edited down to kind of cut out me painting what's on the camera, but most of this guy was painted on camera, and it is pretty hard. So I hope you guys enjoyed looking at it. Let me know anything you would have done different, and don't forget to comment and like and subscribe if you haven't, and so enjoy it. Okay, so first off, I usually base all my models in white primer. Just for me, I think it's easier to paint. And then the first thing I do is, to get the kind of skin tone I'm looking for, I give all the flesh kind of parts, including the tail, a wash of this Thrakka Green, just to kind of get the like an old kind of zombie feeling to it, the old kind of colour. You know, like if it was kind of like a fresher, well, I don't know if fresher is the word, but it looks like he's been dead for a while and the skin is starting to rot a bit more, so give it a bit of a green colour. And at the start, when I tried this for the very first time, I really thought that it wasn't going to work out at all, but once you kind of work at it a little bit, I think now I prefer to use the kind of green colour on him instead of a fleshy colour to get some of these Skaven guys zombified as it is. So just want to make sure I get all the flesh bits, his feet, and I'll leave a little wrap between his legs for later on. I'll do him a different colour. I'll come back to him. Okay, so I have all the skin parts covered in the green. I have to make sure to remember to do the ears. I always forget to do the little ear parts, and there's always kind of like little parts you always forget to do. So what I'm going to do now is just put all the base colours on stuff. So while that's drying, I'll put a base colour on something else. So I'm going to do is the kind of the robes, his clothes. I'm using Ultramarine Blue now for this. There's no really particular reason that I chose the blue. It's just the first guy I did. I just picked up the blue, and then I kind of, to keep it part of, to look like it, they're from the same kind of clan, I just stuck with it then. So now that I have the Ultramarine Blue colour on, I'm gonna do the kind of the upper part, the hooded part of his clothes, ice blue, and this was another colour that I picked up just nearly at random, just kind of go with the blue, and I didn't think it was working at all. But once you kind of put the finishing touches on it, put a wash over it, I think it came out pretty good. But when you're doing the Ultramarine Blue, the guy thinned down the paints and painting, you might want to do maybe 2 coats of it on, because it does kind of come out a bit thin. So if you need to put the 2 coats on it, put them on. And I didn't know that was gone out of frame there. I'm still trying to figure out everything for doing painting tutorials, so I'm going to make a few mistakes on this, so you'll have to just kind of bear with me. Okay, so I have all the ice blue all over him. Got it nice and covered. So now I'm going to pick out all the metal parts with Scorched Brown. So I'm going to start off with the sword. Just literally give it all just the base colour, because I'm going to go for any metal on him. It's all going to be like rusted effect. Well, rusted effect is the best I can do, or give it like a real kind of worn out metal. I wouldn't be able to do it, you know, like orange rusty without looking just like plain orange. No, you have to be able to mix it just right. But the rust colours that I use for it, for the way I do all this, is just, it's pretty good. Comes out alright. Works for me. I'm sure it worked for a lot of people as well. I'm not going to put any special detail into the handle or anything. In case you're wondering, the harm is from a Skeleton Warrior spare bits that you get. I bought a box of Skeleton Warriors ages ago, and you get a few spare arms left over. Okay, so I got the Scorched Brown down on all the metal parts, and I put some, I went over the bone part with bleached bone. I just didn't record that because it was only a quick little bit. So right now, I'm going to do the shield. The shield is done with a mixed colour of Khermi Brown and Scorched Brown, which is a 2-to-1 mixture, just a little bit more Scorched Brown than the Khermi Brown. But then I'll highlight it up to it. Okay, so now that all the Scorched Brown metal parts are all dry, I'll go over them all with a black wash. The Nuln oil, or Bada Black, even if some guys still have it. I still have some Bada Black left. So any metal parts, now let's give them all a wash, get them all covered. Really get like an old dark kind of colour tone. And so now that the green is dried, good and dried, I go over all the kind of the higher parts of the skin with a coat of rotten flesh, or kind of watered down rotten flesh colour, and I kind of spread it around a bit. You don't want to go over the green completely. You're still wanting the green to kind of come through. That's why I kind of water it down a bit. So now this part gets kind of a little bit tricky. I'll do it this way, if I can. It's the face. So this is it's really hard angle to try and get at it. It's tricky to do for the camera, but this is kind of one of the easiest kind of places to paint the skin colour, because there's so many raised areas on it. You know, they pretty much kind of pick themselves. Now just to finish that shield, give it kind of a light dry brush. Khermi Brown, just Khermi Brown in this one. Just kind of highlight the wooden part sticking up. And then that's it for that, that should do. Then just a brown wash over that, I'll put over later. Now for this part, I'm going to be using Agrax Earthshade wash. And maybe some people mightn't use as much wash as I do, but for me it works. And so what I'll do with it is I go over all the kind of flesh parts with it. And then I'll go over the blue cloth here. Oh no, sorry, I'll go over that light blue one. The skin, the wooden part of the shield, and the right arm, the skeleton arm. So I'll just go over them with Agrax Earthshade wash to kind of tie all the colours in together. Okay, so I have the wash on the skin and on the bone part of the arm. It's still a little bit wet, but while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'll finish off the sword, well, the metal parts. And what I do now is give it all a light dry brush. I know a lot of people don't like doing dry brush, they call it amateurish, or for beginners, but if it works, it works. That's how I look at it. Now if you did want to do another kind of add more rust colour to this, all you'd have to do is add kind of like an orangey colour before you wash it with the black. But every time I do it, I can't see the rust, I just see orange. Maybe it's just me. So you want to just kind of get the edges of the shield, and then this might be a little bit tough because the dry brush is a bit big, but the chainmail part, yeah, no, it came out fine, looks good. So that's it, you kind of get your dirty, kind of rusted looking shield. Looks like just old earring. I'll have to use a smaller brush for that. I'm gonna hope and I'll trying to hit that with a dry brush. Yeah, I kind of come up. There's a whistle on that. Yeah, so nearly finished, he's just getting there. Alright, so for the blue cloth, to give it, to kind of dirty it up a bit, instead of just putting a wash over it all the time, I dry brush graveyard earth along the bottom of it. I think the new colour, this is called Mornfang something. Mornfang Brown maybe. Just kinda, all I do is kinda just brush it up. Make sure I get some on that. So the blue is there, but it's kind of like it's really dirty looking. And just maybe a few bits on the edge of that. A little lighter blue as well. Oh, you couldn't see it there. Maybe I could have went a bit lighter, it would have looked a bit better. But that's it, just a dirt at that, just a quick dry brush of graveyard earth. Usually does the job. Alright, so all that's left to do now is to just put a wash on the blue part. And I went with Newland oil on this to give it just a little bit more darker feel. I usually go with the Agrax Earthshade. So, and I can just spread it right around. Okay guys, so one thing that I forgot to add in this is the blood around the mouth. I was looking at this guy and I said there is something missing over it, and I completely forgot to do like the blood effect around the mouth. So what I do is I start off with Scorched Brown and I just kind of put it around the area where I want the blood. And I put this bigger than where I actually want the red to be, because it'll go from dark to red, you know, that way. Just a little bit above the nose and on the teeth and all. So I knew I forgot to do something with this guy. Just gonna brown up kind of the whole mouth area. See the lighting, I had everything packed up, but the lighting's out of chance a little bit, so I mightn't be able to see it as well. And then just do the inside of the mouth as well. The bottom tooth. So when that's dry, I'm going to go to Scab Red, and I'll just let this dry and I'll come back then. Okay, for the last little highlight then for the blood, I just put a mixture of blood red with the glass varnish that you can get, and just put it around the edges and on the teeth, just to finish that blood effect. And glass just to give it that little bit of shine. That's it then. Just finish one more little detail on it, and that's it. I'll get that now. Now just the last little detail that onto it. Just do the little white dot on the eye, just to give him the zombie look. And that's it.